Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Pawan's Corner, the podcast where we explore stories that matter. I am your host, Pawan, and today we have a very special guest. In today's episode, we are going to dive into a topic that is close to the hearts of many Nepali football enthusiasts: the impact of Nepali footballers seeking better opportunities in Australia. To shed light on this fascinating subject, we have Prarambha Dahal, a sports journalist from Kantipur Television, joining us. Welcome to my podcast, Prarambha.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk about Nepali football. How significant is the recent trend of Nepali footballers seeking opportunities in Australia, and what factors do you think are driving this trend?
Well, to be honest, I think the decision they are taking is for the long term. Considering the situation or scenario of football in Nepal, it's in a very sorry condition. Our A-Division League, which should be an annual event, does not even happen in many years. That does not ensure the players their monthly remuneration and salary, so the finances are already there. In addition to that, not just the A-Division League, even the other football tournaments that we have in our country are not professionally organized. So the money factor is there. On top of that, the injury factor is also there. If we see the tournaments being played outside of Kathmandu, they're not played on good grounds, right? So there is no financial security. On top of that, if you just are representing your country, that gives you some money, but only 15, 23 people can make that, right? So not everyone can do that. So I think these factors, the economic factors and the future aspiration factors are the reasons.
So with Nepali footballers venturing abroad, what potential challenges might the national team face in terms of talent pool and player development also?
As we have almost like 20, 30 players leaving Nepal every month, it is definitely going to deplete the talent pool for Nepali football. On top of that, we do not even have the kind of academies that we should be having to generate the kind of football players we already have. So there's this only one ANFA academy, and then its branches in different parts of the country. But how efficient is that is the question. So we know that ANFA is deeply problematic in terms of politics and politicization. So the number of players, the way they are leaving Nepal right now, it is going to severely impact our national football team in the days ahead.
Let's talk about the positive sides too, Prarambha, because when our players they go to abroad and they seek or they gain experience or they get exposures. So the experience and the exposures gained in Australia could positively impact the overall level of football in Nepal. Do you think so?
Well, I think there are two lenses to look at in this aspect, because what kind of leagues are our Nepali players playing in Australia is one thing. If they are playing the same football with the same opponents, like they've been playing football against each other throughout their lives, right? So if they're again going there and playing footballs with people who are at their same capacity, it's not going to do anything good for Nepal. On top of that, I do not even think they'll return. But in case, if they are playing in better leagues, and then with that experience and exposure they come, it's definitely going to be of significant value for the Nepali football team, as it's going to not just bring in their experience, it's also going to bring in the expertise that they learn from their coaches, the foreign coaches, the infrastructures there, and maybe not even as footballers, if they even return as officials of ANFA in future, maybe they will be able to make some policy level changes, which is going to make a very a great significant contribution to the Nepali football in future.
There are concerns within the Nepali football fraternity too about a potential drain of talent due to the players moving abroad, and how are these concerns being addressed by the football association, even national sports council, or even the youth and sports ministry? What do you think?
Had there been any initiative or any effort made by ANFA or the NSC in the first place, the players would not have left. One thing. Now that the players have started moving abroad, ANFA has remained quiet. In fact, what we've heard is ANFA has said players that it has asked the players to get their contracts settled with the clubs, and if they want to go abroad, ANFA is letting them go. So I do not see any effort being made by ANFA at the moment. neither the NSC or the Ministry of Youth and Sports, but the media has been voicing this concern very vocally.
From a very broader perspective, how do you envision the relationship between the development of football at home and Nepali players pursuing international opportunities?
The thing is, even when we see football abroad, like we have a lot of talented players coming out of Brazil. Like Brazil has always been, a powerhouse of football, but not many Brazilians who play in Brazil are popular. Why? Because they go and play abroad in leagues like Premier League or Spanish La Liga, and Europe mainly being the target. So that is not a wrong thing. Like leaving a country to play football abroad is not a wrong thing. It gives you more experience. It gives you the opportunity of playing with the better talented players and compete against higher teams, better performing teams. But in our case, it's not the same. In our case, the development of football has been growing at a very microscopic, or it's still in an embryonic stage. So the players going abroad is a consequence of that, and the players going abroad is nothing like how we see it in other parts of the world. So I do not see any development works happening, or any significant development works happening in terms of football. If we compare Nepal with Bhutan or even Bangladesh, Pakistan and India is, we do not even need to talk about the investment and the development that the funding that they are injecting in terms of grassroots development has been next level. So we used to be at par with them. Now we've seen their team doing so well. Not just their teams, their even regional leagues are so good. So in case of Nepal, I do not see development being made or achieved in any sense in terms of football, and that has led to the exodus of the players.
Prarambha, what do you think? The Nepali players, they are going to Australia are to develop their skills or enhance their football quality, or just only to get secure about their life or earning their bread and butter? What do you think?
Exactly. I think none of our footballers are going there to be earning like $100,000 or pounds a week, right? So they're just going to make sure that their future is financially stable. And the kind of leagues that they're going to, it is not the Australian A Division league they're playing for. It is the minor leagues of some regions that they're going for, if I'm not wrong. Or most of them are going for that. Maybe some of the players are also doing good. Like some of the Nepali players who have been born and brought up in the foreign countries, who have their own passports of those countries, they're doing well. We cannot claim them as to be our first Nepali nationals, right? So, but the players like you mentioned, they're not going there for like big bucks. They're going just to make sure that it's not just they get to play football, but at the same time they're earning money to the same football that they would have played here would not have even made them a monthly salary of 30,000, but they'll probably be making good money from the football they'll be playing there.
Thank you, Prarambha, for your time, your opinion, and all the insights about the Nepali football and the Nepali football players going abroad in search of their bright future, not only in football, also in earning their bread and butter. Thank you very much for your time and opinion.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
And there you have it, folks. The impact of Nepali footballers seeking opportunities in Australia is a story of dreams, determination, and the pursuit of excellence. We thank Prarambha Dahal for joining us today and sharing his valuable insights. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Pawan's Corner for more engaging discussion on topics that matter. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we explore yet another captivating story. Until then, stay curious and stay inspired.